Let me know when you're ready.
Man, look, we ain't even hit a goddamn Peggy. I'm tempted to see this.
Yo, what's good? What's popping? What it is, what it ain't. You dig what I'm saying? I got my dog with me, you feel what I'm saying? Peggy!
What's good, bud? Yeah! Come on now.
Come on, bro. Where you where you at?
Bro, this is day 2, Radio Road.
I didn't get a chance to do that shit yesterday,
No.
Peg. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You feel like a seasoned vet?
A little bit, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, yeah, I'm finding my way. Yesterday was real good, though. We had some good pieces to the puzzle, bro.
Yeah.
You seem a little too conservative, bro. You gotta turn me up a little bit, bro.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm cool. I think right now I'm in this phase. I'm not used to sitting down.
That is true.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
See, I can jump around and do all that when we back in studio, but different arenas, different areas. We taking this show on the road. It's very different being housed sitting down. We try to do it on set, but it's like, no, that ain't me.
Yeah,
I
Cam like the scramble, literally, all day, every day.
But real quick, real recap. Yesterday, what was your best part about yesterday?
Bro, my best part, I got 2. It's a 2-part. One of my best parts was the game that you and Stephen A was giving to Travis.
Yeah.
I think that was real big, and then you being able to really elaborate on the space that you're moving into, like in the media space.
For sure.
As people, you being able to scrutinize a player as a former player, and it's not hate, it's the truth.
But, man, to that point, though, dog, like, I'm the guy now, like, you get kind of side-eye looks.
Yeah,
You feel what I'm saying? But the position that I'm in right now, I have to speak truth.
Yeah.
This is what people are saying.
That's
and
right.
I'm going to tell you in your face what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I was always the teammate in the locker room that's going to say, like, bro, catch the fucking ball, bro.
Yeah.
Like, hey, bro, like, dog, do this. I want you to. I'm not rooting for you.
Yeah.
We can't be too sensitive by saying, yo, bro, like, why you saying it like that, though? Because the truth can also be disguised as hate sometimes, but I'm like, dog, that's not me. That's not my intention.
Yeah.
Don't get mad at my words. Understand what my intentions is for saying the words. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real. That's real. But I wanted to ask you, because something that just blew me away was the sit down with you and Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
And the fact that you all talked about him, Washington, but also talked about y'all career in Carolina. Like, what did it feel like to sit down with Rivera?
That's the first time I really, like, spoke to him after the fact. But it's a real question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, during that time, I was extremely sensitive to, like, why? Like, above all, I knew I could have an opportunity with the Redskins.
Yeah.
At the time. Now Commanders.
Yeah.
So when it didn't happen the way it happened, it was almost like they forgot about me. Maturity teaches you how to verbalize your discomforts.
Yeah.
And it was a vulnerable moment.
Yeah.
And above all, like, that was the thing for me that I was saying, like, yo, dog, like, why ain't you come get me?
Yeah.
Because if the shoe was on the other foot, if you would have asked me who would I would prefer to play, like, it's no question.
Exactly.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure. Yeah. But I wanted to ask you too, because we took you from Rivera era till we wrapped up with Matt Patricia, and I did not know that he was in the room when they was like, "Look, Cam, we're gonna have to move in a different way." Like, what was that like, bro?
Bro, Matt Patricia and Bill Belichick were the only 2 people that was in that room, and I remember shit like it was yesterday. Belichick sitting right here, Matt sitting right there, or however the fuck they was sitting. I was talking majority to Bill, but they knew. And after, off air, it was more or less like, bro, I knew what the expectations were for me. My aura was not going to allow comfort in that locker room.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask you too, and I seen, obviously you had Greg, you, Stu, Rivera. That was the championship team. Could you see yourself beating or competing with this Kansas City Chiefs team this year?
I don't think that's defensively, I think we will match up, but this is the thing. Our defense versus their offense, I would have loved to have seen that though. Because now you got Luke
versus, Pat Mahomes.
You got TD now. With how they want to attack, that will really what it would come down to. And that's just the game of sports, not just football, but the game of sports is just all about matchups, bro.
Yeah.
Like, how can you get the matchups that you really want and strategize to expose the other team's matchups, right? Like, who's going to cover Travis Kelce? Like, Roman Harper?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel good about it sometimes, but it's like, that's still Travis Kelce.
That's Travis Kelce.
But we got Luke. Like, we had Jimmy Graham that we had to get prepared for as a division foe.
True.
Whether you want to look at it as like Jimmy Graham and Travis Kelce ain't the same player, of course they're not, but they have similarities in receiving tight ends. And then you just go down the line as far as receivers, who's going to guard Worthy, who's going to guard, D-Hop. We had J-No, Cortland Finnegan, like those guys we had. And then shout out to the new Hall of Fame honoree with Jared Allen.
Yeah,
Jared Allen
congratulations.
was on that Super Bowl season as well too.
So like now we sitting Friday. So if you had to take us back through a quick story time. Friday, what did it look like during your 2015 season? What were you thinking about? How was a Friday before a Sunday game?
Friday, slow motion. Friday, the game plan's in. We still have the mentality of Fast Friday, so it was like a walkthrough, family day. But even with my family, they didn't want to get too distracting. Everybody was excited,
So you was able to see your family out here?
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't, okay.
So also, too, this is coming off of, like, I had won the MVP the night before. So that was a time, too, where the excitement was what the excitement was. But this is still something that you just cannot get prepared for. You know what I mean?
So you actually went to the award show,
I never went to the award show. I did a phone in. But when I got to a point where the cat was out of the hat, that following day, which was Friday, then led me to go through practice, and now I had some off time. And now all the focus was on the Super Bowl game. Trying to get your routine, man, it's so hard just with the routine that people don't really understand. They underestimate more than anything that it's altered. You can't go nowhere. You can't do anything because everywhere you go, people are wanting autographs, people are wanting, all type of attentions for you, and that can kind of knock you off your game. All you want to do is just breathe. So the safest place for you is your hotel room, in the hotel. So that's what it became.
So switching gears, touching on the MVP. So Josh Allen just won MVP. I know you've been pulling for Lamar the whole season. What's your thoughts on him winning the MVP and why you think he won?
I think what is it? Ryan Clark said it best. I think you have a situation where you have voters fatigue, right? Where certain voters are just so tired of voting for the same person. But we've seen this done in other sports, right? Wayne Gretzky, the greatest, hockey player that we've ever seen, back to back MVP awards. Now you see a situation with LeBron. LeBron's playing at a high caliber. That's not to say this year, but before, and you still had somebody who was just playing that was more surprising. Lamar had it set an expectation and a standard of play, and he met that. I don't think nobody really expected Josh Allen to have the year that he did.
That's true.
He exceeded expectations. So not to diminish what Josh Allen has done or to propel what Lamar Jackson has done. For him, it was one of those things that if he won it, cool.
Yeah.
If he didn't win it, still cool, right?
Yeah.
But what people don't realize is that is a regular season award.
Yeah, that is true.
I think it would have been way more kind of alarming if we would have seen the Baltimore Ravens in the Super Bowl.
And that would have been like how you know what I'm saying?
You see what I'm saying?
That's true. But it's like a gift and a curse of being so good. It's like it's not his fault.
Right.
Like he played when you even go down the numbers.
Yeah.
Some of the numbers are better than Josh Allen.
Everything is better than Josh Allen.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so just because I'm tired of you.
But check this out. Some would say, Cam, when you won the MVP, there was other quarterbacks that had better numbers. So it is a narrative-based award, meaning like there's moments during the season that each player must show up in MVP form in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Josh Allen had more of those moments than Lamar did.
I got
right?
you.
If Lamar would have won certain games, right? Now you look at it where that was a Lamar win. But this has always been my take. It's so many different determining factors in football as a whole.
Talk to me.
So it comes down to 11 on 11. Well, I say, well, you split 11 down the middle from its form, it still comes down to one-on-one. You got to win your one-on-one matches. And if you do not win your one-on-one matches, then we're screwed, right? One-on-one matches is, okay, you win your one-on-one match. Now you still have to do your job. And it's glaring what I'm talking about, but I'm not just trying to just single this person out. But if Mark Andrews just catches the football, or if Justin Tucker makes certain field goals, we're not even having these type of conversations because now we do get those wins if I'm Lamar Jackson. You think what I'm saying? I upheld my end of the bargain for the way to play, and it still wasn't good enough. And then you look on the flip side with Josh Allen, what if somebody would have dropped the ball? What if somebody would have slipped? What if somebody would have, it made on a protection call, or the defense didn't get a stop? All those things you have to really monitor as far as looking into performances and if the situation is set up for them to have a moment.
Yeah. So it's been a lot of talk. Obviously, you said something, obviously, on First Take about you wouldn't trade your MVP up for a Super Bowl ring. Crosby just came out and was like, I'm not ring chasing. I want to build a culture. So I wanted to really ask you about that part. It's like, even with MVPs, if you, Lamar, MVP after MVP after MVP, but without a championship, can he really go down as one of the best if he never wins again?
Okay, I look at it like this, Peg. If a person who's broke that sees a person with money make a purchase, what they gonna say?
He got money.
Or they gonna say, I'll never buy that. I don't care how much money I got.
But you ain't in that position.
You ain't in that position.
You can't buy it if you want.
You dig what I'm saying? So I look at that the same in sports. It's like, bro, you can't sit up there and tell me what you will do if you ain't never got nothing. You feel me? It's like when you look at a situation where you say, hey, Cam, that's selfish of you to say. Like, bro, in every single commodity, motherfuckers gonna look at and say, hey, dog, you gonna be selfish in your decision in your job, whether it's a cubicle, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a police officer. You see what I'm saying?
You said something good, because you was like, when it come to getting raises, you're gonna be like, that person don't outwork me. Dog. They don't do as much as me.
So we're sitting up here saying team, but we're not in a team mentality. Correct. It comes down to doing your job the best. We need 11 guys doing one job to the best of their ability, not one guy doing 11. And when you really highlight that, when you really focus that, That's really what it comes down to. So when you ask the question, would you give your MVP back? No, I wouldn't. Because I did my job. You feel me? That's not selfish. Of course, that's still the ultimate goal as a team. The team is to win a championship. Personally, you want to collect as much as you possibly can, and you're a fucking lie if you don't admit that, because it's the truth.
We got to get some guests in. They're ready to rock and roll, bro.
Let's rock. Yo, what's good? What's poppin'? Ladies and gentlemen, this ain't the itty-bitty, little, teeny, tiny bowl. What is it? It's the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 59. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Big players make big plays, and now you can cash in on every single one of them. Bet touchdowns at DraftKings Sportsbook and take your shot at winning big. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 4TH. That's code 4TH for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after insurance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Into their podcast. We're going to break into the podcast. Okay, guys? How are you doing, Peggy?
All is well.
Who is this guy right here? Do you know?
You don't know this guy?
Oh,
nobody.
Mr.
Cam, I'm just messing with you.
No.
How you doing, brother?
Don, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. Hey, Cam.
Yes, sir.
You are my fashion icon. Sorry about that. Can I tell you something?
Talk to me now.
You need to get your flowers. Because I don't think people realize that you brought fashion into the league. All these dudes that are walking in like they're on a runway in Paris and New York, Keep going. Dude, they stole that from you.
Keep going.
They stole that. That was you, bro.
Keep going.
You did that. You need to get your flowers.
They
are on the shoulders of Cam Newton and his short pants.
I didn't say it. Don
Flood high waters, we used to call them.
Yeah.
And you brought that in.
Keep going. I don't think they heard you yet.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yes, sir.
And everybody's copying you, man. And nobody's saying, Cam, we want to give Cam credit for bringing fashion into the league.
Don, I'll tell you this. When I came into the NFL, there was no focus and highlight of player individuality.
Right.
And at that time, LeBron was in Miami.
Right.
And I said to myself, they would always do walk-ups for NBA players, but they had 82 opportunities to show what their interest was outside of basketball.
That's true.
So I said, yo, I only have 17 opportunities, so I'm going to make them motherfuckers bangers as much as I possibly
And you did,
could.
man.
And I tried.
Yeah, but you know, it's weird. You know, people used to hate on you, right? They're like, what is he, gay? Whatever. I'm like, you can be fashionable without bringing in somebody's sexuality.
Let's talk about that.
Doing that.
No. Let's talk about that. I think we have to normalize conversations like this.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, I agree.
It's because a lot of people are sensitive. But from a straight man to a gay man, what's the biggest knot or what's the biggest misunderstanding that has?
Well, I think that people understand, obviously, we're all human.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And then let me tell you, okay, can I just be on this?
Come on.
Not every gay man wants every straight man. Have you seen the gay men in the gym? Have you seen, that's just because you're gay doesn't mean do you want every woman that you see as a heterosexual? No. So that's a big misconception, or that you were deviant or evil or whatever. I have a husband. I got dogs. We want kids, just like everybody else. We have a family. He's like, oh, I should have come down with you. Am I working? Whatever. It's just that is the biggest misconception, I believe. And we should all treat each other as human beings, see each other as humans first, and then we can have these conversations that are real, like we're having
now. Don, can I ask the question too?
You can ask me whatever you want. You know me.
No harm done.
Bro,
Now,
I don't believe in cancellation. I think it's due-to-ship.
So there's always been the question of, are you born gay or there's something that happens?
Yeah.
Can you answer that?
I think sexuality is a spectrum. Yes, I do believe that you are born gay or does something happen? Yeah, of course people are born gay, but when you're a kid, you don't know what sexuality is, right? And until you start becoming an adult and you figure out what you're attracted to. But just as you figure out as a straight man that you're attracted to women, it's the same thing with gay men. You don't choose your sexuality. Otherwise, I could choose to be straight and I can't. Otherwise, you could choose to be gay and you're not. So that's why I believe people are who they are. But look, especially in this day and age, it's a spectrum. Some people are here, some people are here, some people are here, and some people are here. I had it with my social media producer last night. I was like, man, all my friends think you're hot or whatever. And he's like, he said, I'm not diverse, man. But you are who you are, and who cares?
Yes,
who cares?
Yes,
and if you don't believe in gay, then don't be gay.
Yeah.
But don't discriminate.
I got you.
You know what I'm
Makes
saying?
a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I knew it was like, obviously Michael Sam was one of the gay players to come into the NFL. But as other men that's going into a male-dominated sport like an NFL, like it's obviously a very male testosterone strong sport, and not saying gay men aren't, how should they, go into the league? Obviously he was one of the trailblazers to do it, but even going in there, normalizing the conversations, how to handle yourself, being able to have these real conversations and being comfortable in your skin.
It'll never work though.
Why wouldn't it? I want to hear both sides.
It'll never work, bro.
Because there's so much misunderstanding and so much misinformation and ignorance, right? And I don't mean that as a pejorative, but people just don't know. They don't have these conversations.
So
and
taboo.
They're afraid to.
Yeah.
And masculinity and femininity has nothing to do with your sexuality. I do think that, there's this overemphasis on, I'm hard, I gotta be hard, I gotta be the man. Or you think that just because
masculine,
you're masculine, you have to be masculine, but just because you're in the locker room or whatever, people are worried about some gay man being when you're all these big dudes, who's gonna do something to somebody in the damn locker room?
I'll say it like this. Coach Belichick would always explain certain things like this. Will it become a distraction? At the nucleus of it, will it become a distraction?
No, it won't become a distraction if you instruct the players not to make a big deal out of it, that it is part of human life and part of human nature. And if you don't like it, then okay, you can voice that privately or whatever, but until you start treating people like people and the league and the players don't make a big deal out of it. It's just like, yeah, that's my teammate and he's gay. So what? Who cares?
It's not even though, listen, bro, I'm not homophobic. I'm not, bro. I love people, and I'm grateful for this conversation. But the reality of certain things, I don't think we're at a time where you can mix the two and it be a calm. That right there was a disruption. And it wasn't a disruption because he was gay. It was a disruption because of how he came into the league. Remember, when that happened, when he got drafted, him and his boyfriend at the time was like cake swapping. Yeah. And it was like, yo, bro, like, it was
too much.
It's just like, too much. Dog, don't do that.
But I mean,
is that a thing too? Too much.
Well, look, I mean, I think I like Michael Sam. I don't want to say anything bad, but it was a little cringe even for gay people. It was a little too much. I think he was trying to make a statement, and I understand that you want to make a statement, but I think sometimes less is more.
Yes.
Especially if you don't want to make it a big deal. And I agree with you. I think we're having two different conversations. I said if people treat it as normal. I'm not expecting them to.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people will have problems with it. But for as many people who don't have problems, who do not have a problem with it, if they could actually stand up and say, I have no problem with it, it is no big deal, and then I think the media won't treat it that way. But remember, in the last, 10 years ago,
Yes,
Cam?
sir.
Look how things have progressed in the last 10 years. I don't even know if they had same-sex marriage then.
But listen,
I think we're a little bit further along.
I'll tell you this. Had he came into the league and been an impactful player in regards to being a good player and still playing the role, but I'll say, I think that would have changed. And I look at a situation where you have, let's say, dare I compare the two, but I'm giving you the situations. Just allow me to cook.
Yeah, go ahead.
With Deion Sanders being a player, a dominant player, and then going into coaching, everything is on him to prove, does this work?
Yeah.
Right? What has he done? Deion's success has now opened up for Eddie George, has now opened up for a possible Ed Reed.
Yeah.
We just seen Deshaun Jackson become a head coach. So many different players have become head coaches who've played this game.
Yeah.
And it's because you have pioneers to do certain things. Now, to this particular topic, it's going to take time for people to feel comfortable with saying, hey, I'm okay with a person being gay. Will I see it in my lifetime? Probably not. But where everything outside of the game is going, you cannot ignore that. If you think over the 50-something years, or let's say 70-something years that the NFL has been around, that Michael Sam is the only gay person.
Nah, definitely he's not.
Can I respond to that?
Yes,
Couple
sir.
things. Okay, 3 things. I forget what you said in order. What was the last thing you said?
Michael Sam being the only gay person in the last 70 years.
Okay. Oh no. You said you won't see. I think you will see it in your lifetime.
In his lifetime.
Okay. I think you're going to see it in your lifetime. The other thing I want to go back to, if you like, when people are drafted into the NFL and they're sitting there with their wives or their girlfriends and whatever, I think that's okay. I think that's for if it is if a woman is in the WNBA and she gets drafted and she's there with her girlfriend and they kiss or whatever, I'm cool with it.
Yes,
That's the thing,
I am
right?
too.
It may shock a little people. Maybe you should think about it before they do it. Because of the impact, right, and because of how people feel. I'm not saying they should or shouldn't, but you should just think about it.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. So I don't think you should have different expectations for someone who's gay or not. But like the cake, and that was a bit much. I do think so. Sorry, I thought that was a bit much. And the other thing is, I don't think anybody have a problem with it if you are scoring, if you're making touchdowns, if you're catching passes.
They just care about
nobody. Then they'll be like, "Hey,
production.
that's a gay dude. But he's
a
fucking
production.
badass.
Yeah.
He's badass.
The reason why he got
Excellence,
drafted
merit.
in the first place was because he was co-SEC Player of the Year too.
Right.
He was supposed to be a good football player.
But it's different though when you're from college football to the NFL. It's a whole different thing. I mean, look at how Joey B had to. Even Joey Burrow said, "Oh wow, it was LSU. I was great at LSU."
Correct.
But this is a whole nother show.
It's a whole different ball. You have to evolve as a player. But all that to say, when you're comparing the two, it's not really a comparison because when you look at women's sports and you see that it has been accepted for same-sex marriages and certain things, you look at a situation like Brittany Griner, who was there supporting her through
It's
it all.
different for women though.
It is
more
different.
acceptable.
It's double standard.
Yeah.
That's to my point.
Yeah.
It's like for men, especially in a masculine sport, where your masculinity gives you that cachet.
But that's also society who teaches us that men have to be masculine, men can't cry, men can't show their feelings, men can't be affectionate, men can't talk to other men about how they feel, if they're feeling down, if they're feeling whatever. And that has nothing to do with sexuality.
All right,
it has to do with
being
a whole human.
I'll give you another masculine sport.
Hockey.
Boxing.
Boxing.
Do you think an openly gay boxer?
Yep. If an openly gay boxer is kicking another boxer's ass in the ring, then what are you going to do?
That probably would pass before football.
Yes, it
because
would
they got
pass
their own
before
locker
football.
room. They got.
Dude, look at the MMA. How look at wrestling. They get they get into positions that most people don't get. They're closer than most gay people. Straight up, I mean, most humans straight are gay.
Yeah.
So
but this is the thing that I want people to see and hear and take away from this conversation. It's such a refreshing conversation to have, knowing where you stand, knowing where you stand, and obviously where I stand. And I think hatred, I think sexism, I think racism, I think all the isms are tied behind one thing, not having the opportunity to speak about it.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, Don, I respect you enough to say, at the worst, we can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
That's how you feel.
But see, when you preface this by saying anything, whatever, you can say anything to me.
Yes.
Like I'm a journalist, I'm a human being, and then maybe we can learn something from each other.
Yes.
But I also believe that we're living in a time, honestly, where hate is being normalized, and I don't like that. And the way to show people that that is not normal, that's not who we are, is to have these conversations, to do it openly and honestly, but approach each other with respect.
Through a situation, and I must say this, the Kevin Hart situation, how are you able to navigate through moving now with.
What do you mean with Kevin?
Just.
Oh, you mean the whole Oscars thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think people misconstrued that because Kevin and I are actually friends. Kevin put me in one of his movies, and movies are like series, limited series. Kevin and I can call him and text him now. We had a conversation about it. I tried to explain to him how I felt about the joke as a gay man. But here's the thing, I don't think Kevin should be canceled for it. And I told him I thought he should do the Oscars. It was his decision not to do the Oscars. I never forced him. I never said he shouldn't. I never said he should be canceled. What I was trying to say is what we're saying here.
Right.
You have the right to criticize me if you don't like something I say. But I have the right to come back and say, hey, man.
Absolutely.
And so Kevin did the right thing. He called me up, and he said, Don, I need to talk to you. We had it out on the phone. And then at the end, we decided to be friends. You know why we ended the conversation? Yeah. He said, fuck you, Don Lemon, and laughed. And I said, fuck you, Kevin Hart, and laughed. And every time we see each other now, we say, fuck you, and fuck you, and that's it. But it's over. But I think Kevin, I don't think you should go back into people's past and cancel them for things that they did, especially if they understand where, also it was a different time, right? We can't be looking at something that someone said even in 2019 or 2018 or 1999 hold on, not everything in a 2025 lens, because that I'm not saying it's right, but it was a different time then.
The reason why I can't agree with that is because of this. Me and my lady right now have been watching the 4-part O.J. Simpson Netflix special.
Oh, yeah.
And Mark Furman.
Yeah.
That was years before.
Yeah.
Him being a racist.
Yeah.
And now saying
you're talking about a court case, though. You're talking about.
You said you can't be forgiven though over time.
Yeah, but that's different. That's like a jury and all of that. But I mean, yes, you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm talking about just general public. But in a court case, all of that shit matters. That matters.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, if you're gonna put someone behind bars and shit that you said matter.
Absolutely.
But being in this media space, obviously, like one thing about Cam, he's uniquely him. You're uniquely you.
That's why I respect him.
Yes.
I've always respected him. I love the, I'm like, this dude is bringing skinny pants and jeans into the NFL.
Yeah.
Go Cam Newton.
Yeah.
But what does that feel like, though? What are some of the pros and the cons of being uniquely you in this media space?
People aren't used to it. People are scared to me. There are players here who are they're afraid to come up and talk to me, and I just want to ask them fun things like, who would be your all-time #1 halftime performer? I don't want to talk to them about politics.
Beyonce.
Okay. That's all I want to say. Who do you think's going to win? What's the score?
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit. Because I'm here, people need a break from some of the seriousness that's happening. And also, most of these players, honestly, they're my brothers. Yeah. I don't want to get them in trouble. Yeah. I don't want to get them canceled. I don't want people side-eyeing them. I'm very proud of them and what they're doing, that they're excelling in something that is very hard to do. And once you're here, as you know, this is rarefied air. Yeah. And so I don't want to fuck them up. So, so sometimes people don't know where I'm coming from, but I'm always honest and I'm coming from a good place. But it's tough. And then, honestly, white people don't like what I say sometimes.
Yeah.
And but I say it, and so if
black people don't like what you say either, so shit.
But I say it's
just
true.
don't.
But most of those black people aren't in positions of power to have an effect on your life.
That's facts.
And that's the difference when people say black people can't be racist. Of course, you can have racist attitudes, but when you're controlling someone's destiny, that's what real racism is, and you're affecting. And when you get pissed because someone said something that you didn't like, that has to do with race.
My last question.
Yes.
Here we are sitting in the time of the month where the whole month is dedicated to Black History.
Yep.
What's your take on Black History Month?
I celebrate Black history every day because black people built this country. Our ancestors built this country for free built the White House for free. So the current resident or whatever resident, it's temporary. They're in public housing that my ancestors built, so they should have respect for that. So, and also, I think some of the folks who are in government forget that they work for us. We don't work for them. That they're actually public servants, and they're not our bosses, so they can't handle us and speak to us in a certain kind of way. And so I handle myself, and I celebrate Black History Month or Black history every single day. When I wake up, it's Black history.
Yes, sir.
When I go to bed, it's Black history. I do think that we need a month to mark it, like we need a month for women and all kinds of whatever, if you want to do it. I don't think that anybody should be canceling it or saying that we don't celebrate it. I don't think that people should be saying, we're going to get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, especially when Black people are the least beneficiaries of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
A lot of shit, yes, sir.
It's white women who are the #1 beneficiaries, and and that's for veterans and for disabled people and even for white men, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So Black history is American history, and without Black people there would be no America.
That's a fact.
So I wanted to ask too, as a Black man, when these lights come on, these cameras cut on, what type of responsibility do you have, like, to tell to the masses that you put on yourself?
To tell the truth.
Okay.
To tell the truth, to understand. People need to understand history. That's why all history needs to be taught. People need to realize in this day and age that everything is not so black and white, no pun intended. Right. There's nuance. You can hold multiple thoughts in your head at the same time. Just because I may have gotten upset with Kevin about a joke, it doesn't mean that I don't support the brother. Correct. And that I want him to excel and go ahead and host the Oscars and still be critical, because that's just, I want us to be in that position as people of color to be able to do that and to show the world, like, hey, that's still my brother.
Absolutely.
But that's my responsibility, is to understand context and to understand where people are coming from, that we have a unique history with this country that most people don't have, that women have a unique history that is theirs to tell, that most people don't understand. And Jewish people have the same thing, and you should try to understand people, meet people where they are, and that's what I do, but I try to do it with honesty. And not everybody's ready for realness and honesty.
Hello.
Right? Because then they get pissed at you, and then you end up becoming an independent journalist.
Yeah. Yo, man, Don, appreciate your time, man. Appreciate your energy. I definitely have to get your information, you and your team, bro, for multiple reasons, but more or less, like, if there's anything that I could do for you and vice versa, man, from a straight man to a Black man.
Let me tell you this, to a gay man, to a Black man, but let me tell you this. If you want things to change, then you need to go find a friend that doesn't look like you. So I'm inviting you and your girl to come out on a date with me and my husband. We can go to the movies, we can go have dinner, and then you get to learn about us, and then it's not so unusual, right? Or so like, oh, it doesn't shock you. Just like, oh, I'm having dinner with, just like you go with Jane and Bob to dinner, you two couples. You can go with Tim and Don to dinner, and I can go with Cam and whoever you're with for dinner. Or we can hang out.
Like, don't get it twisted now. Like, one thing that the status thing, I'm a ratchet motherfucker, man.
I'm ratchet too.
We in them crevices, we in them hole in the walls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I tell that, I met her in L.A. I'm like, listen, motherfucker, hey, I don't like all that damn bougie shit. We gonna get down in here in the crevices. Don't toot your nose up at no damn hole in the wall, and then your plate coming out, and it's a plastic plate.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
Styrofoam cup.
Styrofoam. You know
red Solo.
Come on.
That's me. Dude, I grew up down the road in Baton Rouge.
Tighten up.
Yeah, come on now.
Like, if you ready to rock and roll and be like, yo, like Cam got me.
Hello.
Oh, man, Don, bring your ass. Come on.
And don't leave your car unlocked.
You feel what I'm saying?
Come on, bro. Haven't you seen me on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, but it's still under that bougie shit.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Like me, if you ain't sweating when you partying and you don't smell cigarettes, Black & Miles, weed, cigars,
B.O.
Body Splash, you ain't in the right spot.
Murray's hair grease.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, ooh, I feel at home.
Some Dax hair grease.
You know what I'm saying? Man, Don, man, thank you, bro.
I got one more thing to ask you. Where's the hat with the dreads that pop out?
Do you know the only reason why that happened? I have so many hats, and I would have wasted my hats had I not cut my hair through. So now my hatter creates a block.
Space for your...
Now, from when I had a clean cut, so to speak, what am I going to do with those hats?
Right.
Am I going to give them away? So I said, man, fuck no. I seen this person create this crown, as I would call it, and I was like, bro, I got to salvage these hats. So I would just cut the hole at the top, stick my hands through, and if that ain't the most creative thing, I'm like, man, bro, that's also like my Black stamp. Like, hey, I don't give a damn what y'all may think.
You talking about ratchet, bro? I went to NFL Honors last night. You know where everybody's like, let's go to dinner. You know where I went?
Where you go?
Popeyes on Canal Street.
Hello.
I had 3 wings, a breast. I had red beans and rice, except I got just red beans by itself, and I took the dirty rice with the red beans and a biscuit, and then, you know, I'm cooking some hot sauce and a pepper.
I was about to say.
With a hot sauce.
I
I
felt it this morning, though. My stomach was like, whoa.
It's all right.
That's
What
all
you
right.
drink? Sweet tea.
No, I did not have a sweet tea. I had
say diet anything.
Diet. Dr.
Man, you was good until you said diet. A soda is a soda, bro.
Anyways, I have. Look, I'll drink my Coke with. I like regular Coke. I like regular Dr. Pepper, but I might have had a diet last night, or maybe it was a lemonade. I don't remember.
Down lemonade.
Love you, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, brother.
Thank you. How did I get myself into this?
I know.
Got a picture.